let's talk about why you started to get into politics.
Yeah. You know what though? Like first, I gotta tip my hat to my brother Scotty. Like I'd always been involved in politics. Like even as a high school kid, I was like an NAACP chapter member for my youth chapter, and all of those things. I'd always been involved, canvassing for Democrats and stuff like that, knocking doors for them. But it was when Scotty came to my school that he and I started building a relationship because he had did suits for like 5, 6, 7 of my high school seniors, and he paid for them everything, right? Blessed my kids, and then the pandemic hit. George Floyd happens, and then some of my kids go outside in March. And then that whole time in that process, Scotty really introduced me to a lot of the frontline activists and community organizers and grassroots folks here in the city. And so it was doing that work, like being outside and seeing the same stuff that I saw when I was marching the streets in '91 after Rodney King with my dad. I'm talking about tents under the bridges. I'm talking about people living out in the streets. I'm talking about police violence that wasn't being curbed by the government. Those type of things. Like seeing it that it's still the same stuff going on. It made all the sense in the world to me that it was time to put my name down to run for office, because the person who's currently in the seat that I'm running for voted against police reform, voted against closing the Atlanta City Detention Center, voted for the big old police training facility that everybody's been pushing against, right? And this person is doing so many policies and votes that are harmful to us, our community, and our people, and what I know could eventually cost my own sons their lives. And so I just feel an emergency to do something about it. And it's only so much marching you can do before you start running. And you know what they say, if you're not at the table, you on the menu. And right now, the voice of the youth really has no voice on Atlanta City Council. And Atlanta City Council impacts everything. It impacts how your police engage with you. It impacts the affordability of the city. It impacts how much opportunity you have or you don't have. And what the status quo has allowed Atlanta to be is we got the worst wealth disparity gap in the country. I'm talking about what the average black person in Atlanta make, what the average white person in Atlanta make, is so far from each other that nowhere in America is it worse. You got a 4% chance to get out of poverty if you're born in poverty in Atlanta. Like these type of conditions for black people in what's supposed to be the black mecca of America is a disaster. And the worst part about it is that a lot of these policies and the status quo is being upheld by people who look like us, or upheld by people who are the legacy of the social,